Hello students, in this video we will see some of the most common doubts asked by students in number system. This video helps for the students of classes 8th to 12th who are preparing for various competitive examinations. Okay, let's check out the problems. First one, find the number of prime numbers among the numbers 100 factorial plus 2, 100 factorial plus 3, 100 factorial plus 4, 100 factorial plus 5 and so on 100 factorial plus 100. So there are some numbers given to you. We have to find how many numbers of these are prime numbers among the numbers. And by just looking at the question, many students will confuse and they will feel this problem is very difficult. But in fact, this problem is very simple. Let us explore this. So first let me explain you what is factorial. So n factorial. So n factorial is nothing but product of first n natural numbers. 1 into 2 into 3 into and so on. N minus 1 into n. So this is the definition for factorial. N factorial means product of first n natural numbers. And also we can remember 0 factorial is equal to 1. Right? And now in this question, first number is given 100 factorial plus 2. 100 factorial plus 2. So this is nothing but 100 into 99 into 98 into and so on 3 into 2 into 1. Product of 100 natural numbers plus 2. Now can I find 2 in this product of 100 natural numbers? Yes, obviously we can find 2 here. So I can take out 2 common from both, here also 2. So I can take out the common and the remaining I can find here 100 into 99 into 98 and so on into 3 into 1 and again here plus 1, which is equal to 2 into some number. 2 into some number. So which means that can you say that this is the divisibility by 2? Can we say that this is divisible by 2? So the number 100 factorial plus 2 is divisible by 2. Now let's move to the next one, 100 factorial plus 3. 100 factorial plus 3. So here also the same process we can apply, 100 into 99 into 98 and so on. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 3. And here also I can just take out the 3 common. If I take 3 common, 100 into 99 into 98, 99 into 98 into and so on, 4 into 2 into 1 plus 1. So here also 3 into some number, the positive number we can say, which is also divisible by 3. So similarly, if we continue the same process, we can find that 100 factorial plus 4 is divisible by 4. Similarly, 100 factorial plus 5 is divisible by 5 and so on. 100 factorial plus 100 is divisible by 100. So what we can say from this? We can say that these are all numbers which are not prime numbers. 2 into some positive number other than 1, definitely other than 1 it will be. So it is not a prime number. So this is also not a prime number. So this is not a prime and this is also not a prime. And similarly this is also not a prime, not a prime. So none of the numbers whatever given in this question are prime numbers. So what is the conclusion we can give? The number of prime numbers among the numbers are none of this. So no numbers is there, so none of this we can say. Right? Okay. Next question. For some natural number n, the number of positive integral x satisfying the equation 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial and so on x factorial is equal to n square. N is some natural number. The square of this natural number is nothing but sum of this x factorials 1, 2, 3 and so on x factorials are there. and we need to find the number of positive integral values of x. How many? Just like solving a equation, but this equation is given in terms of, again, factorial. So for this, what is the simple logic we can apply here? 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus 4 factorial plus 5 factorial and so on, x factorial is equal to n square. N is some natural number and it is a square, means it's a perfect square number. It's a perfect square number, right? Okay. And these numbers, if I can take up to some places, 1 factorial is 1 and 2 factorial is 2 and 3 factorial 3 into 2 into 1, that is 6, 4 factorial 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, 24, plus 5 factorial 5 into 24, 120, plus 6 factorial we can take 720 and so on, some x factorial, right, is equal to n square. And we can observe that from 5 factorial onwards, every unit digit will be 0. From 5 factorial onwards, every unit digit is 0, so that while doing the addition, the unit digit of the whole sum, the total sum unit digit will be 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 4. I hope you got the point. Units digit of the whole sum will be 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 4 plus 0, 0, 0, remaining will be the same as this one. So what is the unit digit we can consider here? 6 plus 14, 10 plus 13, 3. It's a unit digit is 3. And there is one concept. We know that no perfect square number ends with the digit 3, right? We know that with does not ends with 2, 3, 7 and 8. No perfect square ends with these digits 2, 3, 7 and 8. So among these numbers we had 3 also, and so that we can say if 3 is the unit digit, it's not a perfect square. So if 3 is not a unit digit, means what are the possibilities we can change? The x factorial we can consider. We cannot go with up to 4 factorial even. The possibilities can be taken only up to 3 factorial. So x should be less than or equals to 3. So in that case, if suppose x is equal to 1, then we had only 1 factorial. The first number itself is a 1. So which is equal to 1. 1 is a perfect square number. This is a perfect square. And suppose if x is equal to 2. If x is equal to 2, so we'll have 1 factorial plus 2 factorial. That is 1 plus 2. Let me write. 1 factorial plus 2 factorial. That is 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, which is not a perfect square. This is not a perfect square, right? And if the last case, if x is equal to 3, then in that case 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial, which is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 factorial is 6. It's a 9. 9 is a perfect square number. So what is that we can conclude now? The possibilities are x less than or equals to 3, but x less than or equals to 3, among these 3 possibilities, one number is not possible. X is equal to 2 is not a perfect square you are getting for x is equal to 2. So we can consider x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3. So only we can say that 2 positive integral values. 2 positive integral values of x. Okay, right? So we go to the next question. So which one is greater? 1001 whole to the power of 999 or 1000 to the power 1000? So this problem also looks to be very complicated, and even we cannot just evaluate and find which one is greater. But using one inequality, we can just compare them. So let me consider first. Let us consider 1001 whole to the power of 999 divided by 1000 to the power of 1000, and this can also be written 1001 whole to the power of 999 into 1001 if I multiply and divide with, so that I will be getting 1000 power 1000 into 1001. So this is 1001 whole to the power of 1000 divided by 1000 to the power of 1000 into 1 upon 1001. This can be written 1001 upon 1000 whole to the power of 1000 into 1 upon 1001, right? And this inside the bracket 1 upon 1001 upon 1000 can be rewritten as 1 plus 1 by 1000 whole to the power of 1000 into 1 upon 1001, right? Okay, and let me give note point or a property for n a positive integer. For n positive integer, 2 less than or equals to 1 plus 1 upon n whole to the power of n less than 3. Whatever the positive integer you consider, always we can say that 2 is less than or equals to 1 plus 1 upon n whole to the power of n is less than 3. And this expansion we can just calculate with the binomial theorem expansion, and this 2 can be written as a 1 plus n upon n, and here this 3 can be written as 1 plus n upon n plus n of n square upon n square, 1 plus 1 plus 1, anyhow this is also 3, and in between this expansion we can use binomial theorem and just we can compare and you can see. Okay, now for now just remember, for n belongs to some positive integer, 2 is less than or equals to 1 plus 1 upon n whole power n less than 3. It lies between 2 and 3. It can be equal to 2 also. And so that what is this answer, we can say 1 plus 1 upon 1000 whole to the power of 1000 must be less than 3 only. So this answer we can say that this is 3 into 1 upon 1001, since this is the note point reason. And 3 by 1001, obviously it is a proper fraction, it is less than 1. So what is our consideration? 1001 by 1000 to the power of 1000, 1001 whole to the power of 999 upon 1000 power 1000 should be less than 1, which means that 1001 whole to the power of 999 is less than 1000 to the power of 1000, or which one is greater? So obviously 1000 power 1000 is greater. Okay, just remember this note point. So we'll move to the next question. For how many positive integers n cube minus 8n square plus 20n minus 13 a prime number? For how many positive integers n to the power of 3 minus 8n square plus 20n minus 13, it's a prime number. So you all know about the prime number. Prime number must have only one and itself as a factors. If any product is there, a into b something, one of them must be 1 and the other one will be a prime number itself. Okay. Right, let me now factorization, and just by looking at the expression we can say that the sum of the coefficients 1 minus 8 plus 20 minus 13. So 20 plus 1, 21 minus 21 is 0. So since the sum of the coefficients is 0, we can say that n minus 1 is a factor. N minus 1 is a factor for this expression, we can say. Now let's factorize this part, n power 3, by using your remainder theorem, taking the coefficients n power 3 is 1, n square coefficient is minus 8 and 20 and minus 13. Since one of the factor is 1, let's start with 0. 1 plus 0, 1, 1 1 is 1, minus 8 plus 1 is minus 7, 1 into minus 7 is minus 7, 20 minus 7 is 13, 1 13 is 13, so 0 is the remainder. So we got one more factor, so the expression we can write n to the power of 3 minus 8n square plus 20n minus 13 is equal to n minus 1 into n square minus 7n plus 13. And n square minus 7n plus 13, can we refactorize again? Let us check by using discriminant. Delta is equal to b square minus 4ac. So it is minus 7 whole square is 49 minus 430 is 52. So it is less than 0. So we cannot factorize. We won't get real roots. So we cannot factorize this. N square minus 7n plus 13. Let us leave it. So n minus 1 into n square minus 7n plus 13. You have written the whole expression. So according to the condition, so one of these numbers, either n minus 1 can be equal to 1 and this must be a prime number, or this can be 1 and this can be a prime number. These are the two cases we had. Let us see the two cases and we'll find the number of positive integers. If suppose, if n minus 1 is equal to 1, then what is n? N is equal to 1 plus 1, 2. Let's substitute that n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2 in this expression. So 2 square minus 7 into 2, 2 square minus 7 into 2 plus 13 is equal to 4 minus 14 plus 13. So 17 minus 14 is 3, which is a prime number. So this is satisfying. If one number, n minus 1 is 1, the other one is, we are getting prime number 3. Okay, this is okay. And suppose now if n square minus 7n plus 13 is equal to 1, and now we have to check out that n minus 1 is a prime for what value of n here. So let us solve this equation. It's a quadratic equation. Let's solve this quadratic equation. N square minus 7n plus 13 minus 1 plus 12 is equal to 0, and this can also be written n square minus 3 plus 4 of n plus 3 into 4. So this is n minus 3 into n minus 4 other factors. So we'll be getting n is equal to 3 or n is equal to 4. Two values are here for n is equal to 3 and 4. If n is equal to 3, what is the other case here? N minus 1. We have to substitute in n minus 1 and we have to check. N minus 1 is equal to 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, which is a prime number. Means for n is equal to 3 you are getting prime number. And the next case we will see if n is equal to 4, further in this case, so n minus 1 will be equal to 4 minus 1, which is equal to 3. It's again a prime number. Means for n is equal to 3 is satisfying and n is equal to 4 also we are getting prime number. Means n square minus 7n plus 13 if you consider as 1, the other numbers are prime numbers only we are getting. So how many numbers are now possible? N is equal to 2, n is equal to 3 and n is equal to 4. So we have the possibilities of n values are 2, 3 and 4. So total 3 are possible. Okay. Let's move to the next question. For how many positive integers m is 2002 upon m square minus 2 a positive integer? For how many positive integers m 2002 upon m square minus 2 positive integer? 2002 upon m square minus 2 should be a positive integer. To get a positive integer, definitely this m square minus 2 must divide this. Let m square minus 2 is equal to some, let me consider it to be p. So which implies that p must divide 2002. So p must divide 2002 for getting an integer. 2002 factors are, what are the factors for 2002? Or if I do the prime factorization for 2002, 2 into 1001 and again we can write here 2 into not 2 sorry, so 3 table no, 7 table, let's check. 1 double is 2, 100 minus 2 is 98. Yes, it's going in 7 table. 7 ones are 7, 143, and again it will go in the 11 table. 11 13s are okay. So we are getting 2002 is 2 into 7 into 11 into 13, and from here we can also find the number of factors. Number of factors is equal to, so here the power is 1, here 1, here power 1, here 1. So the number of factors is 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1. So this is 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So total 16 factors are there. What are the 16 factors? If I can just check it out with this. 1 is a factor. 1 how many times? 2002 times. And 2 how many times? 2 1001 times. And the next number 7. Let's check with the 7. 7 how many times? 286 times. 7 you leave it and remaining you multiply. 11 13 the 143 2 the 286 like that. And again 11 if I can take here, 11 close it and remaining you multiply. 7 13 the 91 2 the 182, so we can write 182. And the next number 13 we can just here 77 2 the 154 will be getting. And the next case we can go with 7 2s are 14, 14 into 11 13s are we can get 143. This is another case. And 22 11 into 2 22 times 91 remaining, and 26 times of 77. Okay, total how many are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 16 are there, right? 16 factors are there. Among these 16 factors, which one will satisfy? Let's calculate. Let's check. Since m square, we consider that m square minus 2 is equal to p. So which implies m square is equal to p plus 2. Means your p plus 2 must be a perfect square number. It should be a perfect square number. Means whatever the numbers are here in the denominator, p must divide. These are the factors for p here. These are the possible values of p. Adding 2 for these numbers will result a perfect square number. That is what we have to identify. Now we need to add 2 for these numbers so that will be a perfect square. So what are the numbers? Just pick it up. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes, we can take this. P is equal to 2 we can consider. So that p plus 2 is equal to 4. So that is m square. So we'll be getting m is equal to plus or minus 2. But in the question we asked about the positive integer. So we consider, since m belongs to positive integer, we consider only m is equal to 2. And the next case, by taking 7, p is equal to 7. So p plus 2 will be 7 plus 2 9, which is also a perfect square number. So that we can say m is equal to 3 in this case. And the next one, 11 plus 2 no, 13 plus 2 no, 14 plus 2 is 14 we can consider. So p is equal to 14, so we can consider p plus 2 is equal to 14 plus 2 16, which is a perfect square number. So we can take p is equal to 4. And next 22 26, I don't think any other numbers will satisfy. So only these are the 3 numbers which satisfies here. So the possible values are 2 3 and 4 for the value n. Okay, this is how we can just check the answer. The next question. If a and b are positive numbers such that a power b is equal to b power a and b is equal to 9a. So a power b is equal to b power a and b is equal to 9a. Then find the values of a and b. So whenever it is given in the power type, a power b is equal to b power a. So most of the questions we can get it solved by using your logarithm. So apply logarithm on both the sides. Apply logarithm on both the sides so that we'll have log a power b is equal to log b power a to some base. To some base, so that we can write here b log a is equal to a log b. Or we can just write it as a b upon a is equal to log b upon log a. Okay, and also we can use what is b given one more relation is when b is equal to 9a. So when b is equal to 9a, substitute it. 9a upon a is equal to log 9a divided by log a, and this is 9a upon a cancellation. 9 is equal to log ab formula, we can use it, log 9 plus log a divided by log a. If I can take separately log a here and log a here, so that I can just get the answer. 9 is equal to, this is log 9 upon log a plus 1, or log 9 to the base a is equal to 9 minus 1 will become 8. So this is one case we got it, log 9 to the base a. Let me write here, log 9 to the base a is equal to 8, or we can write this as a to the power of 8 is equal to 9, or a is equal to 9 to the power of 1 by 8. If a is equal to 9 to the power of 1 by 8, then what is b? B is equal to 9 into a. 9a, this is nothing but 9 into 9 to the power of 1 by 8. So this is 9 to the power of 1 plus 1 by 8 is 9 by 8. So we got the a value and b value. So this is how we can find this values of a and b. And also we can just remember, instead of working out this much work, we can remember like a property. Let me give some result. Some common result you can remember. For any positive k not equal to 1, for any positive k not equal to 1, the equations a power b is equal to b power a and b is equal to some constant into a, b is equal to ka, have the unique simultaneous solution. Unique simultaneous solution, that is a comma b ordered pair is equal to k to the power of 1 by k minus 1 comma k to the power of k by k minus 1. This is the one result we can note this point. And here what is k in the given question? 9. So we can write directly 9 to the power of 1 by 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 to the power of, what is it? We'll be getting 9 divided by 8. It's quite easy, right? Just remember only this, a power b is equal to b power a and b is equal to some k into a, or b by a is equal to some constant, and then we can use this formula. Okay, please do remember. Next question. So for which positive integers 3 to the power of 2n plus 1 minus 2 to the power of 2n plus 1 minus 6 power n is composite? Composite means minimum more than 2 factors, that is 3 factors minimum must be there. What is this? Let me write 3 to the power of 2n plus 1 minus 2 to the power of 2n plus 1 minus 6 to the power of n. So this we can also write 3 to the power of 2n into 3 minus 2 to the power of 2n into 2 minus 2 to the power of n into 3 to the power of n, and let 3 power n is equal to, let us take it as x, and 2 power n is equal to y. So this equation, we can write the equation as 3 power n means x to the power of 2, 3x square minus 2 to the power of n is nothing but y square, 2y square minus xy. So this equation we can rewrite in this way, and we can also do factorization for this. 3x square minus xy minus 2y square, or 3x square, and we can do factorization. This is minus 3xy plus 2xy minus 2y square, and we can take the common here, 3x of x minus y plus 2y of x minus y, so that 3x plus 2y into x minus y. This is the factorization. So that is 3x is nothing but 3 to the power of 3 into x to the x is nothing but 3 power n, that is 3 into 3 power n plus 2 into 2 power n into 3 to the power of n minus 2 to the power of n. So this is 3 to the power of n plus 1 plus 2 to the power of n plus 1 into 3 to the power of n minus 2 to the power of n. And in this expression we can just find it out that for n is equal to 1, for n is equal to 1, 3 minus 2 will become 1, 1 into some number, so we'll be having only, which is not composite. Okay, so that for except 1, remaining any other numbers are there, we can just find it out. See, for n is equal to 1, if I substitute here 3 to the power of 1 plus 1, that is 3 power 2 plus 2 to the power of 2 into 1, 3 power 2, 9 plus 4, 13. 13 into 1 is a prime number, right? It is not a composite number. So except in this case, only because 3 power n minus 2 power n is 1 you are getting for n is equal to 1. In other cases we won't get. So we can just conclude that except 1, except n is equal to 1, we can take any other numbers. So we can take any other positive integers. Right? Okay, we'll see the next question. How many palindromes are there between 10 and 10 to the power of 5? How many palindromes are there between 10 and 10 to the power of 5? So what are, first of all, what are the palindromes? First write the definition. Palindromes. A positive integer is said to be a palindrome if it reads the same number backward as forward. Backward as forward means from the beginning, suppose like 121. If we read from the back side and from the front side also, it will be the same. 1 to 1, 1 to 1. 1, 3, 3, 1. This is also one number. 2, 6, 5, 6, 2. This is also one number. These are all palindromes we call. So a positive integer is said to be a palindrome if it reads the same number backward as forward. And here what are the number between which numbers are asked? Between 10 and 10 to the power of 5. 10 to the power of 5 means total will be 6 digits. Okay, so we may find 2-digit numbers, 2-digit palindromes we may find, and the next we may find 3-digit palindromes, and we may find 4-digit palindromes, and we may find the 5-digit palindromes also. Okay, so 2-digit palindromes, how many will be positive? So let's check out here. With the 2-digit means we can take 0, so we'll start with only 1. If 1 is placed, like we can just remember like this, both must be same. If 1 is placed here, the another number also must be 1 only. If 2 is there, another 2 will be. Like how many cases will be there? Up to 9 only. Means the number of cases is nothing but only 9 ways. Right? And coming to the 3-digit numbers. In 3-digit numbers, the possibilities, if first number is A, the last number also must be A, and in between the number can be taken any other digit, any other symbol we can consider. Okay, like suppose if the first and last place, the first place cannot be taken occupied with a 0, because otherwise it will not be a 3-digit number. So the possibilities for here is only 9 possibilities, and if one is fixed, A is fixed here also will be the same. So that how many will be possibilities here? 10 possibilities are there. Like suppose if I can take 1, means I am just doing with the permutations multiplication principle easily, but practically how can it comes? If suppose if I take 1 and 1 in the beginning and last, so the remaining numbers can be taken 0, 1, 2, 3. How many possibilities are there here? 10 possibilities are there. And here how many possibilities are there? 1. If the 1 is completed, and again 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, the 2, 1, 2, like with the 2 and 3 also we can take. So how many are there here? 9 possibilities here. Total around 9, and each containing 10 are there. So 9 into 10 is nothing but 90 ways are possible for 3-digit palindromes. And coming to the 4-digit palindromes, if I start with A, and again here also must be A only, and the next place if I can place some B, here also must be B. And if I can apply the same principle like before, instead of working out, so the same here I can place only 9 ways because 0 cannot be taken. So 9 possibilities, and here we can take 10 possibilities. If one selected here, automatically the number is reserved here also. So only the possibilities 9 into 10 is 90 ways. Otherwise you can also check this here also the same way. 1 if I can keep 0, and here I can place any other numbers. Suppose here 0, here also 0. If it is 1, here also 1. So like how many will be there total? 10 possibilities here. And again if I start with 2 and 2, and again how many possibilities will be there? 10 possibilities. If I take with 3 and 3, again 10 possibilities. So total 9 will be there. 9 into 10, 90 ways. So this is for 4-digit palindromes. And for 5-digit number, let me write here. For 5-digit palindromes, let me write the block here: A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also A, here also B, and here is a C. So again applying the same multiplication principle, you can use it. Here the possibilities are 9, 0 is not accepted, and here the possibilities are 10, and here also completed, here also completed, and here the possibilities are 10. So 9 into 10 into 10, 900 ways. The same way we can work out here also. We can check. Now total how many palindromes are there? In 2-digit palindromes are 9 are there, 3-digit palindromes are 90, and 4 digits are 90, and 5 digits are 900. So total it comes 900 plus 180, 900 plus 180, 1080, 1089 palindromes are there. So between 10 and 10 to the power of 5, there are 1089 palindromes, right? Okay, we'll move to the next question. So find the value of 1 into 1 factorial plus 2 into 2 factorial plus 3 into 3 factorial and so on to 99 into 99 factorial. This is not 99.99, this is not 1.1, 1 into 1 factorial. This is like 1 into 1 factorial plus 2 into 2 factorial plus 3 into 3 factorial plus and so on up to 99 into 99 factorial. Okay, this can also be written in summation case. Summation r is equal to 1 to 99. We can just write like r into r factorial. Okay, and this can also be written r is equal to 1 to 99 r plus 1 minus 1 into r factorial, right? We can write this r plus 1 minus 1, and this can also be written summation r is equal to 1 to 99 r plus 1 into r plus 1 into r factorial minus r factorial. This is how we can just write, or we can also write summation r is equal to 1 to 99 r plus 1 into r factorial. Just like let me explain here. 6 into 5 factorial. What is 6 into 5 factorial? 5 factorial is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. And if 6 is multiplied to that, it will become 6 factorial, right? Similarly, r factorial into r plus 1 will give r plus 1 factorial. This is r plus 1 factorial minus this is summation r is equal to 1 to 99 r factorial. We can separate. So what is the r is equal to 1 to 99? We can write 100 factorial. Sorry, r is equal to 1. You start 1 plus 1 2 factorial plus r is equal to 2 3 factorial plus and so on up to 99. 99 plus 1 is 100 factorial minus, and here we can do the subtraction. Here r is equal to 1 means 1 factorial and again plus 2 factorial plus and so on to 99 factorial, and just do the subtraction. We can get 2 factorial, 2 factorial get cancelled, 3 factorial, everything is cancelled, and only remaining is 100 factorial minus 1 factorial. 1 factorial is nothing but 1. So we can just remember like a note point here. Summation r is equal to 1 to n. R into r factorial is nothing but r plus 1 factorial. Sorry, n plus 1 factorial minus 1. This is one note point. You can just take using the same process. You can remember like this. And we can substitute r is equal to how much? 99. 99 plus 1, 100 factorial minus 1. That directly you can give the answer. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Find the unit digit and tenth digit of the sum. S is equal to 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial and so on to 2020 factorial. So asking unit digit and tenth digit. So what is S here? S is equal to 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus and so on 4 factorial, 4 factorial plus 5 factorial plus and so on to 2020 factorial. So what is 1 factorial value? 1 factorial value is 1. 2 factorial value we can take 2 and 3 factorial value we can write this is 6 and 4 factorial is 24 and 5 factorial is 120 and 6 factorial we need to do some at least up to, because we want the unit digit and tenth digit. To get the tenth digit we want in tens place 0. Till there we have to do the calculation. So 6 factorial is 720 and 7 factorial is 720 into 7. You will get 5040 and 8 factorial will get 5040 into 8. 5040 into 8 will be getting 40320 value will be getting, and 9 factorial we can just write 36280 and 10 factorial obviously we'll get with one more 0 extra, that is 3628800. And from here onwards, from 10 factorial onwards, from 11 factorial, for everywhere you will be getting 2 zeros only and so on. So that from here we can just conclude that the unit digit will be the same as before we discussed one problem. The unit digit will be the sum of these numbers up to 4 factorial. That is obviously this is 1 plus 2, 3 plus 6, 9, 9 plus 4, 13. So 3 will be here and 1 carry, and again the unit digits if I can calculate here 1 plus 8 and 9. So let me round up. So here 1, 8, 9, 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 4, 15, 15 plus 2, 17, 17 plus 2, 19, 19 plus 2, 21. So 2 here and 1 will be here. So the unit digit, so this is the unit digits and this is the tens place. So unit digit is 3 and tens place is 1. So that is the answer. 3 is the units digit and 1 is the tens place. Correct? The remaining questions we'll see in the another part.